theyeshiva.net.
This is the fourth attribute of compassion, l'she'eris nachalasai. There is a oneness that will never be destroyed. Whatever you do, whatever you don't do, it's family. I may disagree with the behavior of my mother or my father or my brother or my sister or my son or my daughter, but we are eternally connected because the connection is intrinsic, it's innate, it's essential. It's she'eris nachalosai. And therefore, after everything's said and done, with all the laws and all the structures and all the systems, ultimately there's no separation ever. If I am in pain, Hashem is experiencing that pain. If I'm in a state of relaxation and joy and serenity, Hashem is experiencing. Say, we'll penalize this person. But Hashem is penalizing himself. You know, when you watch your child suffering, it's not just your child suffering, it's your suffering. Because you're connected, you're one. B'chol tzarasam, lights are, God is right there, God is present. It's not just He's there and listening to your pain. He's one with you, so my experience is His experience is my experience. Here we now go to the way this can inform us in our lives. The same is true, a person with his friend, with another Jew. Kol Yisrael hem she'er basar Elohim elu. Beautiful words. All Jews are related to each other by flesh. We're relatives. It doesn't necessarily mean biologically. I may not be biologically your cousin or your brother or your sister. But all of our souls are integrated. Yesh bazeh chelik zeh, ubazeh chelik zeh. In my soul, I have your soul, and in your soul, you have my soul. All of our souls, imagine that all of our souls are one. It's like limbs of one body. You can't hurt one part of the body without hurting another part of the body. It's all connected. You say, oh, this blood is going to the brain, this blood is going to the legs. It's all connected. It's all part of one organism that is holistic, that is interconnected, even though there's different limbs. So imagine, he says, all the neshamas are one. And then the neshamas come in, they're manifested in different bodies, but we're essentially like one person. So I'm related to you and you are related to me. I have in my soul you, and you have in your soul me. And that's why it says in Parshas B'chukoisai in Teres Koyanim, and Rashi brings it, you can't compare a few people who do mitzvahs to merubim, to larger groups of Jews who do mitzvahs. Why? Mipnei klalusam. Because we're not just individuals. When we come together as a klal, when we come together as a collective, each of us becomes far more complete and wholesome. Because I am part of you, and you are part of me. V'lekach pirshu razal, v'lekach pirshu rabbeinu zechem levracha la'nimna me'asara rishayim b'beis haknesses, afilu meya boim acharav mekabel schar keneged kulam. The Gemara says in Brachos, page 47, Daf Mem Zayin, Rabbi Shua ben Levi said, you should always try to be from the first 10 who come into shul. Why? Because even if afterwards there's another 100 Jews come, the first 10 receive reward equivalent to all of the 100. Why? So he says, I'll explain to you why. Meya mamish k'mashmoi. The number 100 is meticulous. Because these 10 Jews who come first to shul, they encompass each other. I encompass you in my soul and you encompass me. Harei masara, pava masara. So really it's not 10, it's 10 times 10, meya, which is 100. V'kol echad mehem kalul memeya. So each one of them is really encompassing 100 souls. So even if you have another 100 souls who come afterwards, but the first 10 who made that transformation of unity, each one of them receives the reward of 100 people. What is the Ramak saying? Basically, when the first 10 Jews who come to shul, each one of those 10 represents what's known in Kabbalah as one of the 10 spheres, one of the divine characteristics. That's why 10, you have a minyan. Why 10? Why not 9? Why not 11? Why not 15? Why not 20? The answer is that when you have 10 souls together, you have the full picture. You have a microcosm of the world coming together, of the unity of the world, because the world is based on the 10 building blocks of the 10 divine characteristics, the 10 spheres. Each one is a manifestation of one of them, and therefore when the 10 come together, you have a reflection of holistic unity of the entire universe, because the micro represents and reflects the macro. So this means with this, I come to the shul, you came, another 8 people come, and now together we have 10. And it's no difference who these 10 are. Any 10 Jews come together and make this minyan, this quorum, so this has this power of bringing together 10 souls. Now each one of these contains the other one. So that means within me, I have me and I have the other 9. So within me there's 10 people. All the 10 people who are now united are all inside of me, because I encompass each of the 9. But you also encompass all of the 9. So together, how many are we? It's not just 10. It's 10 times 10, because at each one there's 10. So in me there's 10, and in you there's 10. So together there's 100. So essentially, the Ramak is saying, I'm encompassing within me 100 souls. Why am I encompassing within me 100 souls? Because within me, I have each and every single one of you, but within you, you also have 10. So within me, I have all the 100. You get it? Understand the mathematics here. Basically, within me, I have the other 9. So within me, there's like, so to speak, 10 people. My soul encompasses 10. But each one of those also encompasses 10. So therefore, Mekabel Schar Neged Meya. So basically, who came to daven? 100 souls came to daven inside of me. The point being that when 10 Jews come together, there is such a powerful energy that comes from the synergy of this extraordinary unity created in the world. For this reason, Yisrael arevim zelazeh. This is why the Gemara says in Shvuos daf lametes, that Kol Yisrael arevim zebazeh. All Jews are guarantors for each other. Why? Why am I a guarantor for you? Why are you a guarantor for me? Why are we all responsible for each other? I understand I'm responsible for my children when they're younger. I can be responsible for myself. That's an important idea. But why are we all guarantors for each other? It's like I become a guarantor for your loan. So if I readily concede to that and accept that obligation, wonderful. But we're saying that essentially the Jewish people are guarantors for each other. Each one takes responsibility for every other Jew in the world. Now that's a big calling. That's quite an extraordinary calling. It's even hard to take it seriously when you think about it, really. I am a guarantor for every Jew. That means every single Jew living in the world, in some way, is my responsibility. What does this? Does this foster codependence? Is this healthy? This is like a source of endless, incessant guilt. The Ramak says, no, don't miss the point. Don't miss the point. Because it's not a joke, it's mamish. Every single one of us contains a piece, a fragment of another Jew. Every single one. You are part of me, and you are part of me, and you are part of me, and I am part of you, and you, and you. And we are all part of each other. When I err, when I sin, when I do the wrong thing, I'm affecting myself. But I'm also affecting you. Because you're in me, you live in me, I live in you. Again, we are limbs of one body, we are interconnected. So because of this part of me in you, and of you in me, I become a guarantor. I become an arev. The Baal Shem Tov once said that arevim means guarantors, but it also comes from the word arevim, mixed up. They're mixed up with each other. Kol Yisrael arevim, like taruvis, like a cholent, it's mixed. Kol Yisrael arevim zebazeh. Which is what the Ramak is saying. There's a reason why we're guarantors for each other. Because we're all interconnected. We are all integrated. There's no you without me. There's no me without you. It's not like I could win if you lose, and you could win if I lose. Imagine in a marriage, the husband will say, I'm going to win even though my wife loses. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have a miserable life. You're one team. You're united. For me to win, my wife has to win. For my wife to win, I have to win. Because there is an intimate, innate connection. So the Ramak says, Kol Yisrael arevim zebazeh. Every Jew is a guarantor for another Jew. Why am I a guarantor? Why am I responsible for you? Why are you responsible for me? So he says, Nimtza mitzad ha'chelik hahu chaveri arev halav. Because of this part of me that exists in you, my friend takes responsibility for me. I'm not responsible for you. I'm responsible for me. But you are part of me. So therefore, for the you that is part of me, I am responsible for. Now, this is a very deep idea. Because what this means is, I cannot take responsibility for another person's life, but I can take responsibility for my life. And your life is part of my life. So when I take responsibility for my life, automatically, it affects you. When I change my dance, you change your dance. Because your soul is so deeply connected. So this means that they are all relatives. A brother affects a sister, a father affects a child, a mother affects a child affects a parent. Siblings affect each other. You say, no, we're separate. You could make believe you're separate, but we're not separate. If we're open and honest, we're not separate. I deeply affect you and you deeply affect me. But I can't change other people. I can't control other people. That's true. But I could change me. I can open myself up. I can change my own dance. And you know what? Because we're all connected. If I strengthen one limb in my body, all the other limbs are affected. If my circulation in one part of the body is now better, it affects the blood and it affects circulation in the entire body. There's no such a thing. I strengthened one part of my body. I did a lot of cardio, but it doesn't affect my brain, doesn't affect my lungs. No. Everyone is part of the other one. So therefore, when I strengthen myself, when I empower myself, when I open myself up to truth, when I open myself up to infinity, when I work on myself, when I live in a consciousness of oneness, that I is not just made up of my own little I. That I is made up of you and you and you and you and you. And that I take responsibility for. The you that exists in me, I take responsibility for because it's part of me. And therefore, when I do the right thing, I am helping you. Just like when you do the right thing, you are helping me. Beautiful interpretation. Ulekach, therefore, ro'ila adam. It's appropriate for a person liyas chafetz b'tayvaseh shel chaveireh. The most natural, organic way of living is that you should want the goodness of the other. And that you celebrate the joy and the benefits and the goodness of your fellow, of your colleague, of your friend, of another person. Ve'enoi tova means you have an ayin tova. In Yiddish it's called farginen. You appreciate it, you celebrate it. And his honor or her honor and dignity should be as precious as your own. Why? Sharei hu mamish. Because you're not separate. It's like asking, why should my dignity be precious to me? Why should I forgive myself? Why should I want me to have a good day, to have a great life, to have a blessed life, to have a successful life? Because it's me, I want that. You know what? That person is also you. That person is you. It's like somebody was like, why do you want your child to be healthy? Why do you want your child to be successful? Why do you want your child to be happy? Do you want your spouse to be successful and happy? Of course. Unless there's very serious dysfunction. But you are part of me. Your happiness is my happiness. Your celebration is my celebration. So the Ramak says, can we open ourselves up to that consciousness? When I'm hurting you, I'm not just hurting you. I'm hurting me. If you lose, I also lost. When I denigrate you, I insult you, I stonewall you, I alienate myself from you, I'm alienating me from me. Hu mamish. It says in Yerushalmi, in Masechta Nedarim, he says, imagine your left arm, right? It makes a mistake. You put by mistake, you put your hand on a hot steam, on a fire, you get burnt. So what's the other hand going to do? The other hand will start beating the left hand to teach it a lesson. You're not beating your left hand, you're beating the right hand as well. This is what the Yerushalmi says in Masechta Nedarim about Avos Yisrael. That's why the Torah says you should love your fellow like yourself. Come on. I should love you like I love me. You could say be menschlich, be nice, be sensitive, be respectful. I should love you like I love me. The Ramban says, how is that possible? So the Ramak says, you're right. But when we understand a deeper truth, when we understand the deeper, transcendent spiritual truths, that we are actually not just close, but we are deeply connected to the point that we are one. All of our souls are integrated and interconnected like a large soul, and I have in me you, and you have in you me. So v'ahavta l'recha, love another Jew like you love yourself. You know why? Because he or she is yourself. If you can cleanse the doors of perception and open yourself up to the spiritual rhythm of the universe, we are all one. Yes, my physical eyes may not perceive it that way. I look at you and I place you as the other, the foreigner, the stranger, the one who's separate from me. And at best, I'll be nice, I'll be kind. He says, no, v'ahavta l'recha kamoicha, like you love yourself. Because you are loving yourself. That is love of self. But you have to understand who that self is. If you really love the self, your true self, I could love my suit, I could love my tie, I could love my label designs, I could love my glasses, my watch, I don't have a watch, whatever it is, I can love my bank account, I could love my car. I could fall in love with these things. I can love my externals. Then I'm not going to love you like I love me. But if I love my real self, if I love my real self, if there's real self-love, what is real self-love? Real self-love is I love my core. I love my essence. I love the divine in me. I love the godly in me. I love my real me. My real me, not just my clothes, my garments, my external layers. If I really accept and embrace my truest, deepest essence, then I love you like I love me. You know why? Because real self-love is also the love of the other, because you are part of me and I am part of you. That's the truth. We have different missions. We have different personalities. Our souls come down into different bodies. We have different roles to play. This is not undermining individuation. Each one manifests the divine light in his or her own unique way, to the point that the Mishnah says every person has to say the world was created for me. But we're still one. You say, how does that work? Well, look at the end of the pasuk. V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, ani Hashem, I'm God. How does it work with God? Is God one? What is it? But God is everywhere. God is in the rock, and God is in the tree, and God is in the animal, and God is in every heartbeat, and in every blade of grass, and in every flake of snow, and in every droplet of rain, and in every atom, every molecule, every atom, every cell, every neuron. But God is one. But the manifestation of divine energy is in every single detail of creation, and that's why the world is one. The world is organically one, but in a very specific way, all of our people, all the Jewish people are one soul. Therefore, says the Ramak, so therefore the appropriate thing is, you want to see the goodness of your friend. You want to see the success of your friend. Literally the kosherness of your friend, the worthiness of your friend. It's so unnatural to speak negatively about another person, to speak about their disgrace. It's like somebody will get up at a Shabbos meal, any meal, and start telling you how rotten their son is, or their daughter is, or their father is, or their mother is. It's unnatural. Now, I may have an issue that I have to bring out. There's maybe something paining me. That's fine. You have to talk about it, confront it. But I don't get up to talk about your disgrace. It's just so, it's like, really? Imagine when somebody gets up at a dinner table and wants to explain how horrible their husband is or how horrible their wife is. I mean, this is just so unnatural. It's so painful. So the Ramak says, well, you're going to get up and you're going to start telling somebody how bad somebody else is? It's like, in which planet are you living? You're really alienated from yourself. Nor should you desire that disgrace. It's painful for you. Just like you don't want to be disgraced. Just like Hashem loathes, he doesn't want our disgrace, nor does he want our pain. Not just because he's nice, because we are one. We are one. So a person, when you open yourself up to this, you don't want the disgrace of your friend, the downfall of another person, or his pain, or kilkuloi, his ruin. And when the person is going through a hard time, it affects me and it pains me as though it's my own pain. And conversely, if the person is enjoying something in life, I can really celebrate with him or with her as though it was my positive experience. This is the fourth attribute of interconnectedness and oneness.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.